And so to our report on The Silence of the Lambs, in which Jodie Foster is a trainee FBI agent thrown together in an asylum for the criminally insane with Anthony Hopkins, a convicted murderer with a high IQ and a thoroughly evil nature. Foster's task is to cultivate Hopkins and get into the mind of a serial killer. Well, the movie's been terrifying American audiences for several weeks, and Tom Brook met the stars to talk about it.
It's widely agreed that The Silence of the Lambs has to be one of the most shockingly powerful psycho-thrillers to have arrived at American cinemas in recent years. Jodie Foster plays FBI trainee Clarice Starling, who's been enlisted to visit a notorious serial killer, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, portrayed by Anthony Hopkins, in the hope that he may be able to provide her with clues in tracking down another multiple murderer, nicknamed Buffalo Bill.
What is your worst memory of childhood?
Death of my father.
Tell me about it and don't lie, or I'll know.
Dr. Lecter is not just a killer, but also a psychiatrist. He agrees to help Clarice Starling, but only if she'll reveal some of her own private thoughts to him. A strange, troubling intimacy develops between them, generating a tension that inhabits the entire film.
Some of the things that I think are the most tense are these very long, very intricate, very subtextual, intelligent conversations between Dr. Lecter and Clarice Starling that are done in very extreme close-ups. They're very tense-making. And that's, you know, a good portion of the film. I mean, this is not a horror film. This is a thriller. And within the thriller genre, it is absolutely perfectly done. But it really works as a psychological drama, I think, and as a real relationship piece in some strange way.
Anthony Hopkins' character, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, is known as Hannibal the Cannibal because he likes to eat his victim's flesh. It was a role that Anthony Hopkins relished.
Census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
That was really one of those rare parts that came up. I mean, rare, not like a raw. I was going to make some witty remark about rare meat. Rarely done. No, I like my scripts rare. It was a very, very powerful, and it's just one of those parts that was fascinating.
What kind of preparation did you actually do for the part?
None at all, just learn the lines and show up. I thought about it, you know, I knew how he looked, I knew how he sounded. All that information came from me very quickly. And so all I did, I showed up and went to the makeup room, and they did that kind of white makeup, off pale makeup, combed the hair back. I was very specific about that. Went into my little cell, and when they turned the camera on, I did it.
Tell me, Mom, when your little girl is on the slab, where will it tickle you?
Dr. Lecter may well become one of the more monstrous characters to emerge from the cinema in recent years. An evil man who Anthony Hopkins makes all the more menacing by emphasizing his intelligence and charm.
Yes, I stressed that. I mean, I wanted to play all that side of it. I didn't want to play the evil side. If you're playing a madman, if you play the madness, it's ludicrous. How do you play madness? So I opted for playing the really super sane side of him, the highly civilized section of Hannibal's mind. And then all the evil that he is there for the audience to make up for their own minds. And people talk a lot about him before he's seen. So I didn't actually have to act out anything fearful.
You know, you are very convincing in the role that you play. Do you think that now in real life people will start avoiding you?
Well, they won't be able to because I'll follow them home. No. No. Unless people take it all so seriously. It's only a film, but it's a film I'm very proud to be in.
Quite apart from its impressive impact at the box office, The Silence of the Lambs has become one of the most talked about films in a long time. People have been terrified out of their wits. One couple who went to watch the film in San Francisco were so frightened by it that they refused to leave the cinema until they were escorted to their car. The film has also provoked a controversy that spilled into the pages of newspapers. Some women and gay people found the picture offensive.
There seems to be a gay character in the film who is a killer, and that's unsettling. People think that the film is homophobic. There are women, I think, that think the film is like, yet again, another film about dead women. And I think there are people that were probably unsettled by its gruesomeness.
Jodie Foster views the film in intellectual terms, primarily as a rite of passage story during which her character, the trainee FBI agent, emerges as a hero.
I think it's about the making of a hero, the folks sort of mythic making of a hero, and the same as in any piece of folklore about somebody who's coming from, you see their training, you see what they learn the samurai sword, they learn the this, they learn the armor, they learn that, and then they get thrust into this forest experience where they, combat gnomes and demons that are actually themselves and things that they never admitted, and parts of themselves that are repulsive. And only when you put these two things together, the sort of the training, the intellectual, the analytical, and that messy pieces of experience that are about some negative things and some positive things, a really instinctual, sort of more feminine qualities, that she can emerge as a whole hero, as a human hero in some ways.
But some critics view The Silence of the Lambs and its sordid world of serial killers as the stuff of tabloid journalism, disguised as clever filmmaking. There's no doubt that The Silence of the Lambs does represent impressive filmmaking. In content, the picture is quite unlike previous work from director Jonathan Demme.
For me, more than anything, The Silence of the Lambs is a story about one person trying desperately hard to save the life of another person. The first time I spoke with Jodie, she talked about the idea of a character who identifies with the victim in a very passionate way. Given the degree of Clarice's desperation, Lecter really goes for the full court press inside her head.
And this is what is so distressing about The Silence of the Lambs, that somehow we in the audience witness an act of unholy psychological penetration that lingers long after the film is over.
Good nutrition's given you some length of bone, but you're not more than one generation from poor wire trash, are you, Agent Starling?
Silence of the Lambs opens here on May the 31st, and I look forward to seeing it.